What's up, guys? So I'm here to talk about this bad boy. This is the Survival Edition. It came in this ginormous box. I had pre-ordered this pretty much when it was available for pre-order. I was like, I'm just gonna, do my best to save up little by little. Because I pre-ordered it way before it even came out. So I was like, I've got enough time. I think I pre-ordered it way before I even got the PS3. So, I was like, I prefer to have one there in case I do have the money to get it. If not, then I'll just, get the regular one. But one of you was nice enough to donate the money for me to get this edition. I didn't even say anything. This person just sent me a message and they were like, you know what? I want to give you this. For being awesome and for all the videos that you do. So that was super awesome. I appreciate it so much because I really wanted it and I wasn't sure if I was going to get it. If I didn't, I was like, whatever, I'm still going to be able to play the game. But that was very nice that they offered that. It comes with the comic, American Dreams. This comic pretty much takes place like right before the game or a little bit before the game. It's pretty good, but it's not like necessary to read it. This is the thing that I really love. It's the art book. It's hardback. And it's super cool. I was waiting to beat the game so that I could actually go and look at it because I learned the hard way never to look at a art book before you play the game because you are bound to bump into some spoilers. So I haven't looked at this, but because I just beat the game like 2 days ago. The actual game is in a tin case, which I like. Joel and Ellie. Let's just get straight to the review. Like most of my reviews, this will be spoiler free. And if I talk about spoilers, I will always warn you and I'll put it in black and white so you could always skip it. When it comes to the platforms, this is a PlayStation 3 exclusive, which is one of the major reasons why I got a PlayStation 3 was to play this game because I was so excited about it. And the developer is Naughty Dog. So the general concept of this story is that it's a post-apocalyptic world. It's a green post-apocalyptic world opposed to like a Fallout wasteland. It's more like the game Enslaved, where nature has pretty much taken over everything. But in The Last of Us, what happens is that this fungal infection, which actually exists called the cordyceps fungus, starts to infect humans. Right now, this fungus only affects insects like ants and stuff like that. And if you don't know what it does, it's pretty damn creepy. When I saw the video of the cordyceps fungus, I was like, it pretty much creates zombie ants. And it's just so crazy. It pretty much infects anything that's near it and takes over its brain with like this crazy thing coming out of its head. So all the infected that you see in The Last of Us is kind of what they look like with ants. Like things start growing out of their heads, like this fungus. But what Naughty Dog did was that they took it to the next level where it's like, what if this fungus actually evolved to start infecting humans? Since this infection is extremely contagious, people start getting infected like crazy. They start putting like quarantine zones, and whoever gets infected, the symptoms start showing within hours. And pretty much what happens is that you start losing your mind, and you're pretty much this host for this fungus. So it's kind of like the person's no longer there. It's like you're a zombie. That's pretty much the reason for this post-apocalyptic world in The Last of Us. You play Joel, and the concept of this story is not a new one. I mean, not just when it comes to the post-apocalyptic world, but it's been seen many times before. Just a few games that have done that are BioShock Infinite and Enslaved. But even though this concept is not a new one, Naughty Dog did a pretty good job about keeping it unique and still unpredictable. And the thing that really made the story jump out was the character development. For me, the character development in this game really added its complexity to the game and its intrigue. The gameplay was cool. I've heard a lot of people saying that it's very similar to Uncharted. Whatever. I mean, it is the makers of Uncharted that made this game, so that doesn't really surprise me if it is, because I haven't beat Uncharted. But I thought they did a really good job with making you switch it up when it comes to the way that you approach an enemy or the way that you attack. Because you have all these different choices when it comes to weapons, like guns, rifles, even bow and arrow, and explosives and all that, and you have to collect supplies to create your medical kits and to create your explosives and all that good stuff. I'm a scavenger when it comes to the way that I play my games. So I tend to look everywhere to find things. So when there's a game that you have to do that, where you have to be scavenging for stuff, for supplies, I usually I feel right at home, because when they don't, when the game isn't really about looting or scavenging, I find myself always looking around the area and being like, oh, that was a waste of time. But with this one, it was pretty cool because they did reward the player for exploration. I mean, you're limited to a specific amount of exploration. It's not like you go wherever you want. But if you did check like these little areas where you probably would have just passed right by it, they would give you like all these tools or specific things and stuff like that, where you're just like, oh yes, I needed this. And since you had that whole variety of stuff to use, it really made the combat interesting and different for me, because I wasn't always using a gun. I hardly ever use explosives in games, hardly ever. But they really came in handy in this game, because you could also throw like bricks or bottles so that it could make noise to kind of attract people over to that area. And that was really useful, because I would, if there was a lot of, say, infected in an area, you throw a brick over to one corner and you'd at least get maybe 3 infected or 4 infected going to that area, and then you just throw an explosive. If you just went guns blazing, just using guns, you would eventually run out of ammo and you would be stuck with nothing. So you needed to use melee weapons. You could kill in stealth mode. Some people consider this game to be a survival horror. I don't, though. I think this game is more of an action platformer. It's not like your typical zombie games where the zombies like pop out at you and you're like, ah! And you've got like all these jump scares like in Dead Space. This is more about the character development. They really want you to focus on the dialogue. They really want you to focus on what's going on in the story and the setting around you and the environment around you. They want you to feel like it's a creepy feeling. Of course it's creepy. So I consider it to be more of an action platformer, because you are placed in these situations where you have to decide how to get from point A to point B. And your obstacle is either to find a way across, get the ladder and put it here, or get across enemies and do it in the most strategic way, or else you're going to get, flanked by all these enemies. So since that's more of the focus when it comes to the gameplay, I think having so much variety in the way that you could do things did keep it interesting still, and not like repetitive where you're just like, oh, I have to do this over again the same way. It was easy to do things different ways, and then you would learn like, oh, that was a lot easier, or because in the beginning you were just like, oh my god, what do I do? And I would like mess up sometimes, and I was like, oh my god, that was a really bad way of doing it. And along the way you start getting better and better and better at doing it more practical, and killing enemies in a faster way, and you losing any health and stuff like that. I fell in love with Joel even before the game, like just in the trailers and all that. I absolutely love Troy Baker, and Troy Baker voices Joel, and I think he did a phenomenal job at playing Joel. And like a lot of PS3 games, and especially Naughty Dog, they did get like motion capture. The voice actors were actually acting the scenes. So the scenes in The Last of Us are really good. I loved them so much. But not just the cutscenes. Like, the cutscenes are really good, but I was looking forward to even the banter, like the in gameplay banter between Joel and Ellie, or Joel and Tess. Like, any character, I always wanted to really hear what they were saying, because the dialogue was just so interesting to me, and especially the interaction between the characters. The music was also really good, and it added to the feeling of the game, but a lot of times there was no music at all, and it was just completely silent. And you could just hear like bugs and stuff like that around you, like nature around you, and that added so much feeling to specific situations, because as much as the music is there to boost your emotions, when it's not there, especially in this type of game, it really makes you feel kind of creeped out, where you're just like, something's wrong here, or like something is not right. I think they did a great job at capturing the feeling of this situation, but also the feeling of being Joel and Ellie. It's a very odd pairing, but the story behind it was just so good. And I just love how Joel got to be the way that he was, and how Ellie started to get to know him more and more as the game went by. And that's exactly what Naughty Dog wanted to do with this. They kept on saying that they wanted to create a game, like a post-apocalyptic game, not so much about the zombies or the infected or anything like that. They wanted to make it more about how you create and nurture relationships in such a hard situation. This is totally my kind of game, because I love the dialogue between two characters. I love when you get to know the characters along with the characters themselves, where they get to know each other as well. But yeah, I could go on for hours talking about the relationship between Joel and Ellie and how it played out so well. But I think I already made my point pretty clear. When it comes to playtime, I think it probably ranges between 15 and 18 hours. No more than 18 hours, I think. I don't think that it went over that, but it was just the perfect amount of playtime, I think, especially for this type of game. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm going to start talking a little bit about some spoilers right now. I'm just going to talk a little bit about the ending for those of you wondering, because I'm sure a lot of you are going to ask me. So yeah, for those of you that don't want to hear any spoilers and haven't played the game yet, I definitely do recommend it. For those of you that don't have a PlayStation 3, I would say if your friend has one or something, try to play it. If not, definitely watch a Let's Play on YouTube or something. You could always just look for the cutscenes. Just watching the cutscenes to see the way that these characters are so well interpreted is worth watching, just to see that. It's just really refreshing to see a developer focus on that. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So for those of you that don't want to hear the spoilers, you could go ahead and just click out of the video. For those of you that have played the game or don't mind spoilers, I'm going to be talking about the ending right now. So the ending of The Last of Us. This is going to be really brief. I'm not going to go into detail or anything, but I just wanted to say that I really liked the ending. I loved it so much. It was a very selfish ending, especially when it comes to Joel, obviously. I just love that feeling where you're just like, I know exactly what he's thinking right now. And I know that he was thinking to himself, I'm not going to lose her too. When Marlene was saying that's what Ellie would have wanted, to save the human race, I was like, oh my God, he's going to do it. Like, he's going to let her go, because he stopped and thought about it for a second. And I'm sure he was like, that's right, she would have wanted that. But it was like, he just, and then it just went to him driving, and it's kind of like, no, screw it. Like, he was just like, screw that. No, like, I'm not letting her die. It was a very selfish ending. But I thought it fit so well, because it was a story mostly about Joel. Like, it started off with Joel. And as big of a role as Ellie had, I mean, she was the hope for the human race. And Joel screwed that over. He was like, I don't care. No, like, I don't care. And that kind of caught me off guard. I was like, oh my God. Because if you think about it, in the end, when Ellie says, swear to me, that what you said was true. And he's like, I swear. I was like, oh my God. Like, he just screwed the human race over. I mean, they'd be lucky if there would be someone else out there like that, maybe. But what if there wasn't? That means that that's it. Like, you know, if they don't find another way, Joel pretty much screwed the human race to keep Ellie alive. And I think he was like, I don't care. I think he was probably thinking, like, that's what happened and that's what's going to stay like that. Like, that's the way that the human race is going to go out. But I thought it was very meaningful, especially when it came to the relationship that Joel and Ellie formed. What I got from that was kind of like Joel would not be happy without Ellie. Even if he knew that he saved the human race, I think he wouldn't be able to deal with that hole inside him that was made twice, like by the loss of Sarah and then by the loss of Ellie. I think he probably felt like he just could not deal with that. I think he was like, no, I'm not going through that again. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I loved the game. I loved the ending. I loved the characters. But let me know what you guys think about the game in the comments. Try to keep the comments spoiler free, but if you want to talk about something, always tag your comment as a spoiler comment. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you guys later.